Continuing our discussion with Dr. Amir. Doctor, now, Tunisia, as we've heard in the report, many strong relations, trade relations, political relations, cultural relations as well. And it seemed that when both President Sisi and President Said were talking and were consulting with each other, a few issues were high on the agenda, one of which was the Ethiopian dam and Egypt's share of the Nile water. Now, Tunisia now is a member of the UN Security Council, and Egypt has been a member of the UN Security Council a few years ago as well. How much do you feel Tunisia can be influential in its meetings there?
Well, Tunisia played a great part in defending Egypt's position. And it was amazing because everyone in the Security Council knows very well that President Qais bin Said is someone, when he has an idea, he's convicted by this idea. He never finds another way to maneuver. So he's convinced that Egypt has a right to defend its case. And he's defending Egypt exactly as if Egypt is there, defending itself. So I think that this was also amazing for several countries, including Ethiopia, who saw that they could manipulate the relationship between Egypt. They tried to sabotage the relationship between Egypt and many Arab countries, and especially North Africa, and with Russia also. And fortunately, they failed. And they miserably failed. So I think that we are counting on our brothers there, the Tunisian government there, the Tunisian delegation is doing a great job. They could have this influence because they are also a voice for the African and Arab countries. So they have this dual of this double role that they're playing there. And there is something very important also, that President Qais bin Said met several delegations from several countries, and he opened the subject by himself without Egypt asking him to do so. And he started defending Egypt because he knows that we have done a lot for his country. And this is what's very smart from Egypt's part, that when we didn't find any, we didn't search for any gains, we just helped Tunisia to get through its problems. So he never forgot this, he never forgot that, and he's protecting now this relationship with this way of defending Egypt.
Well, if we're gonna take a look, I mean, all the political efforts that have been taking place regarding the Ethiopian dam, they've been going on for over a decade now, with all international parties taking part in it. And now we're starting to see there are also a lot of big developments taking place in Ethiopia. Quite recently, the Tigrayan have accused the Ethiopian government of actually carrying out strikes in the Tigrayan capital, Mekele, and the US is becoming involved, threatening with sanctions and all of these things. Do you feel that maybe now is the time that maybe we can reach some sort of tangible and fruitful results regarding the Ethiopian dam?
Well, first of all, what's taking place in Tigray is a genocide. And this is what all the international community is saying and witnessing. By the way, Egypt never said that diplomatically, because we don't want to be portrayed as someone instigating the... We want peace, we want security. President Sisi said it a few days ago. We are not against the development, the economic development of Ethiopia. Don't get it this way, because they're trying, the government there, I'm not saying the people, the government is trying to portray this. This is not true. We want the stability and the security and the development of Ethiopia, but they have to accept and respect our rights and sovereignty in the waters. Answering your question, I think, frankly, we can reach a solution if the people of Ethiopia, I mean the people, we will have another say about their government, and they will choose someone else to represent them and to preserve the security of the people of Ethiopia and respect the integrity of Ethiopia, not to kill their own people.
Dr. Amir, now also Tunisia is quite vocal in the UN Security Council about many Arab issues as well, including the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and also the situation in Libya, which is supposed to have elections in about 2 months' time, presidential and parliamentary elections. How far do you think the UN Security Council and the role being played by Tunisia within this council in ensuring that these Libyan elections take place in 2 months?
Well, let's say it clearly. What Libya achieved now is thanks to Egypt's diplomacy. We had drew the red line that President Sisi precised, but it wasn't for war. Everyone thought wrongly that it was a threat for war. No, it was setting things clear that you have the choice between chaos or stability. And fortunately, things went to stability. We were never against Faiz al-Sarraj, we were never against anyone there. We were against only foreign intervention, which is from Turkey, and the mercenaries flooding there in front of all the media, the international media. It was not our claim. So I think that was very clear that Egypt worked around the clock to preserve the stability of this country. We even pushed the Security Council and the UN to lift the embargo, so that the arms embargo imposed on the army of Libya, the national army headed by Marshal Khalifa Haftar, should be lifted so they could fight terrorism by themselves. We could have used this as a pretext and go by our own and fight terrorism there. We never did it because this is against our military ideology. We never aggress any other country, but we advise and give the technical aid to it. So I think what's taking place now in Libya is the fruit of Egypt's work. To answer your question about the elections, I think that Prime Minister Dbeibeh, he's on the right track by consulting Egypt, as President Qais bin Said is doing in Tunisia. He's doing the same thing. He's consulting Egypt. And as long as there is good contacts with President Sisi, I think that Libya would go through the road of democracy. They will choose anyone they wish to choose, Saif al-Islam al-Qaddafi or Marshal Khalifa Haftar or Prime Minister Dbeibeh, whatever they choose. We will endorse the people of Libya, as we are saying the same thing in Syria and the same thing in Yemen. The people should choose their leadership, and in Sudan also, and in Ethiopia. So I think that it's very clear that Libya would be the exam in front of the international community, and with Egypt's help, things will be very good.
Yes, well, one condition regarding the elections was everybody agreed upon the need for these foreign forces and militia to get out of Libya for the elections to take place safely, securely, and transparently as well. How feasible do you think that could happen in time before the elections?
It's not easy because, let's say it clearly, Erdogan is not willing to give up this gamble that he's playing. But one thing is very important to know, that there is cooperation, naval cooperation between Egypt, Cyprus, Greece, and France and Italy against the arms flooding to these mercenaries. So it could be an operation, a matter of operation of anti-terrorism inside the country, and we could finish it in a couple of weeks if the security in Libya is acting on the right terms. But I think that even if the obstacles are very high, I think that Egypt's willingness to fight to the end, to let, I mean politically, fight to the end, to manage to get peace and security there in Libya, I think we can do it.
Yes.
Nothing is possible.
Well, Dr. Amir, going back to Tunisia now, it's a North African country and it's a southern Mediterranean country. There's always talks regarding the Mediterranean water, especially with Egypt's discovery of the Zohr gas field, with Greece and Cyprus. and some sort of direct or indirect interference by Turkey. How influential do you think, or does Tunisia even have a say or a role to play in the sort of demarcation, maritime demarcation and maritime borders within this region?
Of course, Tunisia is geographically is the closest country to Europe, to Sicily and Italy. So I think that, of course, it has a double interest for them, protecting their country from the flooding of terrorism, of terrorist mercenaries also, because of course many will try to sabotage the political process in Tunisia. And the second thing, of course, they can help with our friends in Italy and France who are managing the borders there, the maritime borders. So they can really do it. What is important is that, of course, their naval forces is not that big, but never relinquish or forget that small countries for some time, they have a huge role. So they will be a big help, especially that they're a neighboring country from the western side to Libya. So they can really be a big support and a big help, especially that the radical camp, which is Turkey and the Muslim Brotherhood, saw that Tunisia was there in their pocket, and they were guaranteeing this as a base. Whenever they want to do something in Libya, they will do it through the land as a safe haven, the Tunisian land. So now they can forget it and find another way.
Yes. Well, one final question. The new Tunisian government, do you feel it is capable of bringing about that big of a change?
As I said, it's about the people and the youth. If they can go to the street to defend the country again, to defend democracy, defend their president and the prime minister, I think it's the hands of the people. They have shown before how they got rid of Zain al-Abidin Ben Ali. They got rid of Marzouki, and they got rid also of and supported Qais bin Said in getting rid of Ghannouchi and Nahda. The people will defend their country, and I think there will be a great support.
Yes. Well, hopefully so, and we're definitely going to be following the developments taking place in Tunisia and the role it plays within the UN Security Council. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. But before we go, I'd like to thank my very distinguished guest, Dr. Cherif Amir, the Professor of Geopolitical Affairs at the University of Paris. Dr. Amir, always a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on NILE International. I'm Henny Saif. Thank you for joining us.